Hi everyone, thanks for joining this webinar today. Some of you will know the team here at Grant McGregor as your trusted IT support partner, but for anyone we don't work with day to day, Grant McGregor provide expert IT support and consultancy for modern businesses. We're a managed service provider who secure our clients' businesses, but also work in partnership with our clients to guide them in aligning technology with their business goals. Today we're joined by the team from Exlaimer. We have Neil, who's the Partner Development Manager, and Tom, who is the Senior Solutions Engineer. Both Tom and Neil will provide some background on Exlaimer, the comprehensive tool to design, manage, and automate your company email signatures. Please find the agenda for the webinar here, and as noted throughout the presentation, there is a Q&A chat box available. So please feel free to ask any questions and we will answer these at the end of the presentation. Thanks again for attending, and I'll now hand you over to Neil and Tom.
Thanks ever so much for that, Paul. So as Paul says there, thanks everyone for joining. Before I start sort of taking you through a few slides, the first thing to say, guys, is Exlaimer is for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you've got one email address or 10, 15,000. Exlaimer has a product which lends itself to anyone who's got an email. We're not industry sector focused, doesn't matter what industry you're in. So the clear thing here I want to get across, guys, is doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter what industry, we will have clients like you that use the Exlaimer product. So my favorite part of this slide is the bit in the bottom right hand corner, which I'd love you to all just have a quick look at. Doesn't matter whether you're at Waverley train station, doesn't matter whether you're in the centre of London, working from home or in your office. Whenever you send an email, when you're using an Exlaimer solution, providing you've got an internet, you will be sending out an email which at the bottom will have the same signature, the same banner, and the same messaging that you'd get from wherever you're sending it. So if I take myself back 10 or 15 years, I might be on a train and I'll send an email and you'll see it's just got kind regards Neil and nothing underneath. So we're all about getting that consistency bit right from the start. So wherever you are, email that you send out will go out with the messaging that your company wants to get, and it doesn't matter where you are, providing there's internet. So what do we do as a business? We take control and ignite the power of every email signature. Someone said to me a while ago, you're not just an email signature solution, and they were bang on, guys. We do a lot more than just put a name at the bottom of an email, which hopefully you'll see in the next 5 to 15 minutes between Tom and myself. So we ensure brand consistency on all emails, and as I go through this, guys, it would be really great for me if you could just think about the importance of these things and how they would help your business if you had them, if you haven't already. So getting that brand consistency is super important. We manage everything from one location. So if Neil Tovey joins your organization and he hasn't got to worry about coming into your business and setting up his signature so it mirrors everybody else's, it's done from one central location. If people want to change the message, we're coming into the Christmas season. It might be the companies want a message down from the 20th of December to the 2nd of January. We're out. That's all done from one location. You're not asking someone like me to put that on or to change it. We boost campaigns and drive conversions using banners, icons, and more, which is what you'll see. And underpinning all this, guys, is a really powerful analytics tool. So if I use Grant McGregor as an example, they might want to send out 1,000 emails. They will be able to see which emails are being opened and what people are clicking on within the banners at the bottom. And they'll see where they're having success and where they're not. Gives them a chance to be flexible, to be wise before the event's ended. Hope this is all making sense. And as Paul says, please put any questions that you've got in here and we'll answer them afterwards. So as I move forward and we think of an email as more than just a signature. You can see here from signatures the highest ROI within the marketing channel, and the bit that really interests me there is 28% of emails that are sent out. People spend 28% of their time looking at emails every day. And if you think there's a 90% open rate on trusted sources, that means if your average white collar worker is sending 40 emails, 32 of them, guys, are being looked at. So to put that into even more simple maths, for every 100 emails you send out, 90 are going to be read and reviewed. So why not have something in there that can draw people to your business, that can show them something that you want to share with them? So what are the types of challenges that we see on a regular basis that customers want to fix? Exlaimer, when I joined, we had just under 3 years ago, just under 50 million users. We're now at over 62 million. So Exlaimer as a product is really, really growing. And there's a good reason for that. And we're in 160 countries, by the way. So we as a business are growing. And there's lots of reasons why we're growing. And the types of problems we solve are companies find emails time consuming and difficult to manage. Once again, guys, because this is all done centrally, that problem goes away. People have always had that risk of incorrect or missing disclaimers. Again, that's gone. We get rid of that. People want to improve their branding, guys. People want, branding is so important. I do a lot of work personally with dog charities out in Romania. When I get emails through from different addresses, if I don't like the look of it, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't look professional, I'm not going to click on that link and I'm not going to donate money to it. So getting that branding right is really important. And just as I pause for a sec, think of how important your branding is, guys. Think of how important it is that when people see you, they go, that's bang on, I like that. I want to learn more. I want to be involved with these guys. People are also looking at ways that they can find ways to drive greater marketing reach, get better engagement, more of a return on investment. Exlaimer and Grant McGregor will be able to demonstrate this. We can give lots of areas where we can show a return on investment from working with the Exlaimer solution. And lastly, insights. I've touched on our powerful analytics tool. This is really important, guys. If you can see what's working and do more of it during a campaign, that's really important. Likewise, if you're doing something, you're not getting the engagements, gives you the opportunity to change it. I really would urge people to have a look at the analytics and how they can help you. So when we split it into two areas, Exlaimer does a lot of work with two types of people, with people in IT, which is where I'm guessing a lot of the engagement Paul and the guys have at the moment, but also we do a lot of work with sales and marketing teams, which we'll come on to. So people not using Exlaimer now, the three big problems we see I've put on the left, and there's smaller ones on the right, but you'll be getting those. But you might find the ones on the right equally as important, but it's just what we see and we hear. So I'll just cover the ones on the left. It's a time-consuming manual process, guys. How much time do you as a business spend in updating signatures? If you have to go out and change things, if someone's done something wrong, it might not just be as simple as just changing it. You have to go and actually get involved in doing something, taking you away from your job. Without having it all done with Exlaimer, you've got limited control and oversight. What you don't want is people putting things in that you don't want. You want to make sure the messaging going out is consistent, and you don't want people making modifications that you've not asked them to. Again, it's all done centrally. We see definitely as companies scale, it can become a bit of a problem for people. It's much easier for them if it's all done manually. They haven't got to go out. They haven't got the worry of people joining. So we also, guys, and it's really hard because if we were sort of face to face now, I'd be asking you questions about, do you get involved in marketing? How do you drive activities, etc.? But I can't see you or know what you're thinking here. So I'm hoping that these things will resonate with you, because this is a really important part of what we do. For marketing companies, inconsistent branding is a massive problem. People are always, as I said, looking at ways they can improve their branding so that people relate to their products. Without this and that bottom bit not being the same, everybody doing their own signatures, let's cut to the chase, guys. It's not a good look. They have lower engagement rates without being able to personalize emails, change signatures, change the content at the bottom. I used to work with a company in London. It shows how old I am now. About 25 years ago, before we were before everything was going out on email, they had a magazine. On the magazine they sent out, it was an IT one, so it'd have a page on disk drives, monitors, whatever it was, different articles. The back page, they had an article, and in the top right hand corner there was a picture of the gentleman's dog. Can't remember what the dog's name was. We'll call him Fred for now. And it would be Fred's deal of the month. And in there would be what they think is the best deal for their IT business. We see people using our email signature solution to put something in the banner at the bottom. Now, I've never seen one with Fred's deal of the month, but people change the banners, they rotate them so they have different messages. So people look at an email, but they might also want to see that content at the bottom, and they'll go and look at the banner and it'll be something different. And lastly here, there is people are missing out on opportunities, guys. If you're not putting something in that banner, you're not telling someone about your business, I promise you they won't be able to see it if it's not in there. So there is a really, really good critical marketing channel that people may not be using at the moment when they're not using Exlaimer. Now, I'm going to move on from here and just touch on a couple of the features, but I urge you to speak to Grant McGregor for more information on these. We're happy to come on calls and help you and share how things can benefit you. But there's just a few things now that we do that we've not touched on. And then after that, you're going to have a break from me, and Tom's going to, I'm going to share a video that Tom's put together on how you onboard and use Exlaimer. So some of the features here, I've touched on the powerful analytics tool. We do rotating banners. An example of that might be, one of Paul's colleagues, another Paul, is a big Heart of Midlothian fan. They might be sending out emails, and in the bottom they might be putting out details on next 3 home games. So they'll rotate the banner so you can see what tickets are on sale. They might have in something about there's a tour of Tynecastle. There might be Christmas information in there. So there's all kinds of things that you can put, and you can have sort of different banners that you send out. So think about where you might be able to use them for your company. So Hearts, being a big football lover, is an easy one. Tickets, the club shop. There could be so many things that they rotate the banners, and you can rotate up to 15. I won't go through all of these. Headline content at the bottom, you can now have at the top. Really professional, great look. The first thing people see is, we'll use Hearts because it's an easy one for me. Tickets on sale for the Boxing Day game against Hibs. So instead of having that at the bottom, you'd have it at the top. We also do surveys. We do a one-click survey, or we do a bespoke survey. So if you've got a client that, God forbid, is unhappy, they can put a comment in the survey. You can have like multiple questions. Then at the bottom of that, it might be really unhappy, taking too long to get a response. That goes in real time to the admin team, guys. Once that's gone to the admin time, you can pick up and jump on that. And look, guys, likewise, if someone's saying something good about you, brilliant. You've got a reason to phone them, sell them more, talk to them about other things. As I said, I won't go through all of these. But moving on from this, guys, I'm going to take you on now to a presentation that is from my colleague Tom, and we'll start now.
Hi everyone, so my name's Tom Yates, and I will be taking you through a quick introduction here to the Exlaimer solution. To start off with, most people want to be able to replicate their signatures, or certainly know how to actually they could create a new design. So to do that, we reach across here to the menu on the left, click on the signature section, and this will then load up to your template library. Now, as you create signatures, this is where they're stored and where you equally manage them out to respective users. To begin, you can click on the Create Signature button here, and this will open up Exlaimer's vast range of templates. Now, we have different categories that we can click through here to see all these different designs, and all of these are fully customizable to your needs. Bring in your own graphics, your logos, etc. Equally, you're able to create a signature from a blank canvas as well, which is what I'm going to do here. And the table shapes are for you to help formulate and section out that signature. Now that template is opened up here into our editor. Our editor is all drag and drop, really easy and intuitive to use, no HTML code expertise required. And as we look within this editor, we can see we have a toolbox situated on the left where we start to bring in our different elements. So to begin, let's maybe add our company logo within this signature. To achieve that, we click on the images and icons section and move across to the image logo. We then drag that to the position where we wish, and then we have these different methods of actually bringing the image to the platform. We have a brand image option where you can upload a very specific logo, icon and banner, and that will enable you to push that same logo, icon, banner across a series of different signatures. Perhaps if this is just an individual based signature like it is in my example, I'm going to choose the option to embed an image, or equally we could link an image. To upload the image, we simply find the file that we need associated, click OK, and that adds that perfectly within the signature. Now on the right hand side of the screen, so you may have spotted, we also then have this properties panel where we can gain access to change the image if we wish again, or we can click on hyperlink and actually put a URL to sit behind that image. So when someone clicks on it, it takes them to that respective website or page where we need it. To further build out our signature, very importantly, we want to include the business card section, like the contact fields, so we can reach back to our toolbox, over to text and fields, and we have several ways of achieving that. Now we have these sort of shortcuts for the address fields, the personal and the contact fields, and we also have one for all fields where you can build and stack out very particularly which fields you want. Now what's important to note here is that Exlaimer will synchronize with Entra ID, so all these details are dynamically pushed through into each user's signature based off their email address. So as we start building out which fields we want here, as you can see, we could certainly add more, remove them, and switch out and select from other attributes from your directory which is being synced. You can even use custom attributes to help you there. You can signify the field with a nice label, even put your own preferences in there. And then we could arrange on our suitable layout in the table, multi, single line, even add separators like commas or pipes between the field. Once we've added those fields into the signature, we can actually see that being displayed in our live preview down at the base of the actual editor here. Now, equally, what's really useful for the person designing the signature is that they could remove the name that's currently signed in there, search for any colleague, and then you'll be able to see their details being displayed through as well. To further build out our signature, of course, we may want to change our preference of fonts. So we've got the ability here on the right-hand side of our screen. Exlaimer provides a list of internet-safe fonts lists in that list there that you can see. And equally, we have a manage button, so it's very easy to upload and bring through a custom font if you wish to do that. Changing the text color, of course, can be achieved with our palette. You can even put the hex value of your corporate color, and we'll bring that through for you as well. Now, in addition, perhaps you'd also like to include a campaign, a banner, and use your signatures to create more of an engagement piece. So to achieve that, we go back to our images and icons section, pick up the banner and drag that to within the signature where we want. Again, I'm just going to go with the embedding option here, and I will find a nice little animated GIF, which I've already prepared, and we'll place that into the signature. And like previously, we can click on that hyperlink option and put the link to sit behind it. To round off this design, maybe we'd now also like to include something like a disclaimer or a registered office. So we could also just drag that little box into the signature. This is nothing more than just a text box. So of course you can edit and copy and paste whatever you need in there. And again, changing your colors and fonts accordingly. To round off this design that I've started to build out, I'm also thinking I would like my social media icons in there somewhere so that people can follow us on our various platforms. So I'm going to reach across here to the social media section, and we're going to bring in the social media strip. Now from here, of course, we could add in more, remove, and switch out from other popular platforms which we have listed here. These links can all be fully customized as well, so you can have those linking to your company or maybe a specific user in the case of LinkedIn. Okay. Once we're happy with our selection, we add those into our template design. And again, we've got similar controls over on the right where we can change the colors and fonts and the styling of all what we want there. Once we're happy with that design, we can give it a suitable reference up here. And why don't we call that the classic of a test signature? Why not? We're then going to save our changes in the top right-hand corner. And that signature is now stored within the library. Now, of course, we've got our signature, but now we want to actually enable it to our correct users. And it could be that we've created a signature which is global for everybody, but how about if we've created a series of different signatures for different teams and departments? We need to correctly deploy those. So all we need to do is go into the Edit Rules section. This will take us through into another screen where we can control who we actually want to select as our senders and also carry out further advanced rules as well. So to begin, we can click on this Senders tab or go to Senders. It will actually take you to the same place. And here we can see very easily, we can apply that signature to everyone in the organization. But perhaps we do want to apply this based off specific teams and groups. So here I can select a relevant group, even add another one straight after that if we want to do things like that. Equally, we could apply a signature to a row specific user, so maybe a manager needs a certain design, and there's also the option within there where you could apply based off a specific domain as well. We've also got this final option at the bottom called the advanced query, and that allows you to be very granular and apply signatures based off the user attributes. Give a reference at the top here for what you need, and then you build out the attributes. So I could say, for example, city is, and put my value to be London in there. So all my signatures then, or all of my users within the City London office would receive that signature template. The most common method used by far is definitely the group options, but as you can see, there's many options there to cover all the bases perhaps you would need. Equally, we do have an exceptions tab here, so if I was to apply the signature to a particular group, I could exclude a certain user from having that signature being applied. Further along, we have the Recipients tab, and this is particularly useful if you'd like to differentiate different signatures between your internal versus the external-based communications. Internally, sometimes perhaps you would like a shortened version of the signature, maybe it's for internal announcements, versus, of course, the signature which is going outside of the company, where you've got your disclaimer, your brand, your campaigns, your social media presence, whatever messaging you want to represent you as. And sometimes you may incorporate campaigns, banners, which are time sensitive for events, promotions. It could even just a seasonal based banner. So here you can apply and select from the various calendar drop down list when you want to start and end that particular campaign. The final tab that we have here at the top is that of the enable one. And this is where you actually decide how the signatures are going to be pushed and deployed to the users. Down at the bottom, we have this option which we see listed here as see before you send in Outlook. We also refer to this as our client side. What this actually does is provide the user a traditional experience of sending an email and seeing their signature. And if I just switch here to my desktop version of Outlook, we can see that in action. So as I go to compose my email, I can see my signature, which is really useful. But in some scenarios, users may want access to multiple signature designs. Why is that? Well, it could be that they need signatures in different languages, some signatures with different campaigns, promotions, and some simply with just different contact information. You may wear two hats in the organization. One day you're sales, one day you're marketing, and you need a signature which would represent that. So to help people achieve that, we also utilize our add-in, which we can see, which is already installed on my ribbon here at the top. By clicking on it, it then loads up all additional signatures which I have access to. These have all been centrally managed for me, and I can then select and decide which is the most relevant signature based off my target recipient. I can simply select and choose those accordingly. Now this option will work very successfully for desktop versions of Outlook. It also works for the Outlook web. And equally, we can push a single default signature to Outlook for mobile, regardless of that being Android or iOS. I mentioned we also have this other deployment option, which we referred to as our server side. Now, the benefits of using the server side is that we can then apply an email signature across all the different users' devices and across any different email client as well. That guarantees conformity, that you've always got a signature stamped on every communication that you've sent. And equally, it is possible to use the combination of both of these. All that happens in that scenario is that our client side would take priority. So when we see a signature already there, we don't add or change a new one. Equally, if there is no signature present, then we're going to stamp on at the server side level.
So guys, massive thanks to Tom there. Probably out of everybody on this call, I'm probably the least technical. And I understand how to install and implement the Exlaimer solution. So hopefully you've seen that, and you've seen some of the features and some of the functionalities that you could use and take advantage of. And I guess before I hand back to Paul, please, all I ask is just give yourself a couple of minutes to think how you benefit from Exlaimer. Can we reduce the time you spend managing and looking after your email signatures across your business? You know, do you think Exlaimer can help you showcase your business? And are you making the most of what you're doing with your signature at the moment? We've got loads and loads of examples and loads of references of where companies have taken advantage of working with Exlaimer. and we'd certainly love, in conjunction with Grant McGregor, to help you take advantage of it. So massive thanks, and I'll pass you back to Paul.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Tom. Following up, we are running an Exlaimer promotion, where the first 3 demonstrations booked before Christmas will receive a £25 Amazon voucher, and we'll reach out with details on how to book these demos with the team. I'm having a look here and I'm not seeing any questions in the Q&A box, but we will be following up with everyone individually. Finally, just a great thanks to everyone for attending. We'll be in touch. Hope you have a great day.
Cheers, guys.